Und da ist sie schon und mir geht's wie euch. Ich habe Bangaranga die ganze Zeit als Ohrwurm. Und gut, dass sie da ist, weil was heißt eigentlich Bangaranga? What does Bangaranga mean?
Hello, how are you?
Oh, good, how are you?
Doing amazing.
Hello and welcome to the EuroWhat, episode 301, dropping on May 19th, 2026. We are a pair of Americans trying to make sense of the Eurovision Song Contest. I'm Ben Smith, and I'm here with my co-host, Mike McComb. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Ben.
In this episode, we'll be talking about the 2026 Eurovision Song Contest. It is the morning after, and that was a thing to sit through.
Yeah. What an after we are in. This has been a very weird Eurovision year. I'm going to, I'll be upfront about that, just in terms of like all of the controversy surrounding it, but then also our own ways of engaging with the contest this year.
Let's start with engagement. Like, how did you engage with the contest this year that was different than how we had previously sort of covered things? Like, how plugged in were you?
I was reasonably plugged in, like just like keeping up the calendar of like when are things being selected, and then when things are selected, updating my spreadsheet because that's how I roll. But I was not speed running national finals like we've done the last several years. I wasn't really following a lot of, especially the like long form national finals like Melfest or even Lithuania's selection. It was just like, okay, I'll tune into the final if I remember, or if I can, or if there's something else that's scheduled, I'll just catch up with it later. There was a lot of catching up with it later. And then with a lot of the internal selections, I didn't really seek those out. I'm not 100% convinced that I listened to all of the songs before the shows this week.
Oh, yeah, no, like, I actively went in. There were songs that were going to be new to me. It's just like, if it was an internal selection, I didn't listen to it. When we had multiple selection weeks, if there was something I wanted to watch, I tried to put it on. But, like, I found my engagement kind of flagging. And that was where I, like, especially in, like, the first ones in, like, January, February, that was where I was starting to pick up on, this year's going to be different. There's, like, something is missing because, for me, Luxembourg selection, there were at least two things in Luxembourg's selection that did not feel ready for prime time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, oh, if this is what's making the final cut, uh-oh.
Yeah. And I don't know. It also was becoming quickly apparent that there wasn't as much conversation and engagement online because we're both pretty active on Blue Sky during selection shows, and even the times that we were participating, it was just like, oh, are we the only ones doing this right now?
There were a lot of folks whose voices I really like in terms of chatting about Eurovision that sat out this year, and I miss them.
Yeah.
But also, I fully respect that decision on their part. Another one for me where I'm like, oh, this year's going to be different. Conchita just in January immediately just like, I am no longer associated with Eurovision. Just sort of immediately stepping down, saying you will not see me on that screen.
Yes. Although she did show up at the Luxembourg national final. It's like, oh, well, maybe that contract was signed.
You got to make sure if you sign that contract. As things built out this year, just like the field felt weak. Just like watching Melfest, like, yeah, I guess Felicia will do, and we will get back to Felicia because there's some interesting stuff there, but like that felt so by the numbers, Sweden.
Oh yeah.
Even my beloved UMK, like I didn't have a Eurovision party this year. I had a combination UMK and Sanremo final party.
Okay.
In February, just because, hello, here is the process I like a lot, and also we should just watch some of Sanremo. You do not need to stick around till the end of Sanremo. You will be here, until too late.
Yeah.
But
you still have a couple of guests that haven't left yet.
But those two acted as just sort of like a useful, interesting contrast to just sort of show my normal Eurovision party people. You guys always ask, how does a nation select these? Let's show you two very different processes. One that's like very tight, very selective, and another one that, is still happening right now as we speak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But both producing very quality entries.
Exactly. But one where I felt like, okay, we're not going to have to sit through like 5 things that don't deserve to be there and an obvious winner.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I think that was the other tricky thing with a number of the selections this year. Is like there was a lot of cannon fodder.
There was a lot of cannon fodder, and like even my beloved UMK, like sitting here on Sunday morning after Eurovision, I'm like, okay, if I had to rank UMK winners of the last 4 years from 2023 to now, I think Linda and Pette would be fourth for me.
Yeah, that was the thing that really struck me this year. I don't understand why that was the entry that the fandom seemed to coalesce around. And I think part of it is like I am so done with the operatic late 19th century, like that one, and like France's entry. Like, yes, they are very technically proficient. How on earth is that? Like, it got me to the point where it's just like, should we still be calling Eurovision a pop music competition? Because there's nothing pop about what is happening right now.
That one, if we had been covering it during normal season, France would have been like, this is a beautiful technical skating routine. It's even artistic, but just like, this is not my thing, and I don't think it's pop. Sung
very well. She has a ton of charisma, like charisma for days, but like, I don't care. And that makes a big difference.
But yeah, so let's maybe transition to talking about actual Eurovision week a little bit. Just because like the theme of the week for me was just like all of these host segments are like 2 minutes too long. That was another place that just something felt absent this year. And it could just be like the whole German/Austrian light entertainment is just a very different wavelength than the standard Eurovision hosting wavelength. But I just remember being in the arena in 2023 and watching the UK hosting team go through a couple different options of things, just because if something wasn't, we wrote this, it didn't work in the room, we're cutting it, remove it. We have like 3 or 4 other things we can pull from our grab bag. And this one, it felt like we have these segments. We did not plan any additional segments because we considered these good enough.
For me, it really seemed like, is this the first time the hosts met each other? Is this the first time these hosts have been on TV? Like, there was just no chemistry there, and just an awkward stiffness that made it very difficult to watch.
Every time the hosts were on, I was just done.
Yeah, just like, no.
Just okay, cool. Michael showing up in another key party outfit. Great.
Yeah.
Just an array of highly flammable disco leftovers.
Although it did seem like perhaps production was getting that note, because it felt like their presence was not as present, I guess,
oh, yeah, no,
in the grand final.
Semi-final 2, we suddenly had Emergency Emily in the green room. Just like, hello, I'm the owner of this Viennese coffee house.
Yeah.
And then she showed up like one more time in semifinal 2.
They deployed her quite a bit in the grand final, although she kept making the mistake of handing the microphone over. It's like, nope, you never do that. And you could see that Dara was starting to kind of filibuster a little bit, and her like trying to grab the microphone back and not succeeding.
But yeah, like the other thing for me is just like, it is the 70th Eurovision. That is an edition of Eurovision that ends in a 0. Pew, pew, pew. Where is the historical stuff? The second time we had the commentator quiz.
Oh my God.
Just like, the second time we had a commentator quiz, just like, I would have taken a pre-produced video package about the most boring piece of Eurovision over the last 70 years over a bad game show. That felt scripted and just badly scripted.
I kept posting on Blue Sky whenever those segments were happening. It's like, good Lord, the live audience must be so bored right now, because like it was so boring on TV. It's just like, oh my God, being in this room while this is happening. What?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Just for, like, so much of this. On the other hand, like again, just sort of like the semifinal one, what should have been like a quick cutaway joke. Haha, Gojo is in the audience. He got sent to Austria instead of Australia. That is the end of that joke. You do not then write a 7-minute musical sequence about that level of wordplay. Yeah.
And like pretty much devoted to an act that finished in 11th place in the semifinals. So was not even at last year's grand final.
The caliber of guests we had showing up to the 70th birthday party is just like, we were not getting the A team. We were getting who was like, yeah, I'll show up.
And again, it's also a lot of the people who kind of show up every year or every other year. A number of them were the people that were going to be on the canceled Eurovision tour. So I wonder if part of that was maybe a make good because that got canceled.
It's just like, well, you guys did sign the contract and then the tour didn't happen. So here. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so semifinal 1, I was 9 for 10 out of who qualified.
I didn't do any sort of predictions this year. I think that was another part of where my disengagement kind of kicked in, because it was just like, oh, I don't have to do this because we're not talking about it on the show. Mm-hmm. Like, mm-hmm. It was kind of taking me back to 2020, where it's like, oh, the contest is canceled. And then, like, we never did a review series for those entries. And maybe that's why I still have a fondness for a number of those songs. It's like, oh, I have not listened to them like 50 times in a single day to be like, what do I have to say about this? So, yeah, I wasn't going in completely unaware, but this is probably the lowest level of engagement I've had since 2010, only because with 2010, I didn't really discover Eurovision until April of that year. Mm-hmm. So it's like, oh, okay. Oh, there's semifinals? I guess I'll watch them. Like, I didn't know how much, like, pre-work there could be. Mm-hmm. So, but, yeah.
I mean, yeah. I had the weird situation, like, okay, these 7 seem like good, and it's like, I have no clue which of the rest of these. Mm-hmm. It's just like, and honestly, you could leave it at these 7.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the other thing. Like, this was really a tale of 2 semifinals. Like, when they released the running order announcement videos and watching the one for semifinal 1, like, my immediate reaction to it was like, oh, this is... like, they're coming in hot with Moldova. Oh, and then Sweden. And then it's just like, oh, this is kind of relentless. It was a very aggressive first semifinal.
Yes.
And then the second semifinal felt modern. Like, it's like, oh, this is where all of the entries that actually feel like they came from this decade are happening. Mm-hmm. So
mm-hmm. We have numbers as of this morning. We did not have numbers until kind of late in the day, but that's fair. It's after 1 a.m. in Europe. Yeah. They all want to go to bed, and rightly so. So the jury's top 3, because the jury is back this year, were Poland in first place, then Finland, then Israel. The audience's top 3 were Israel, Moldova, then Serbia. And in terms of who made the cut, Belgium made it over Estonia by 13 points. Battle for 11th and 12th is actually pretty close. There was like only 5 points between Estonia and Portugal.
When you start digging into the nitty-gritty of the scoring results, kind of shocking. Like, Sweden was saved by the jury.
Yes. Yeah, no, Sweden was 9th in the first semifinal. Everybody's points are fairly reasonable, and then it's just like Georgia is just sitting at the bottom of semifinal 1 with 3 points from the jury and 2 points from the televote.
I think it's kind of generous that they got that many points. Now, I think I'm almost certain I had not heard Georgia's song before this week, because I think when I was listening to a Eurovision playlist, it hadn't been released to streaming yet. And then, like, I didn't go seek it out because it's like, I have a feeling that would just be a waste of my time.
It was 3 songs standing next to one another. And then, like, my other note that I did want to bring over from our Blue Sky to the show is just like, Boy George could have been an email.
Yeah, he
just like really make him do a cameo and put it on the big screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like he really added nothing to that. Although at the same time, San Marino finished ahead in the televote, like ahead of Belgium and Sweden. So it's like, oh goodness, okay.
Oh man, I had not caught that in the numbering about.
Mm-hmm. Skimming through this, like I'm so glad that Moldova opened the show.
Yeah,
like, that was such a good, strong opener.
Just what a good return to the contest for them. Aliona showing up in the big dress is such a lovely Easter egg for those of us who've been doing this for a while.
Yeah. Although, Satoshi, he was wearing a sweatshirt with the number 373 on it, and it was like, oh, I wonder what the significance of that is. And my initial Google search was 373 significance, and apparently it is the angel number, which is like 3s and 7s and so it's like, oh no, is that it? And then I did another Google search during the show on Saturday. It's like, it's also the calling code for Moldova. It's like, oh, okay. that one's less cringy. So.
Yeah, a little less cringe. Oh yeah, no, that was such a lovely opener. And then again, just sort of Sweden, just sort of, I sort of described it as like, this is the We Will Rave that Sweden had at home.
Mm-hmm.
And it gave me a deeper appreciation for what Colleen did a few years ago. Colleen is a dancer and Felicia is not.
Yes, I think that was the big thing with me for Sweden. Like, you had Moldova as the opener, and then you had Sweden immediately after that. And like I had posted at the time, it's like, wow, this is so low energy compared to Moldova, even though you have like the lasers and the pulsing beat. They brought back the juries for the semifinals, like looking at the televotes. If it was just a televote only semifinal, the two that would have made it would have been Estonia and Montenegro.
I am super interested to see what happens over at Melfest now that we can talk about. We'll circle back to that when we chat about the grand final.
Yeah.
But like, I thought Montenegro did a great job because like they don't have a ton of budget and they did a great job with the staging there. Everybody looked like a fancy frilled lizard. I loved it.
Yeah. Their outfits on the turquoise carpet were bananas. They were just like these giant hair things.
Just like, just something organized by Vladana involved in incredible outfits. Color me surprised.
Yeah, like if you go through the photo archives on the Eurovision website and the EBU website, like all of the photos are just like insane fashion. And so it's like, oh, all right. Like, I don't know what's in the water in Montenegro, but I am intrigued. So.
All right, so let's talk about semifinal 2. In terms of segments, I just have in my notes, what is Professor Eurovision's Rate My Professor score?
That was my thought. Also, Hugo sucks. So
yes, I was watching the Ulla coverage this week just because again they were favored. I was like, okay, if they do win, I want to hear how the host broadcaster responds. Mm-hmm. The level of noises the commentator was making after that segment.
Oh, really?
They were not pleased.
Oh, okay. That's good to hear.
The UK and Sweden didn't air it. Apparently the UK just like played their video for Eines Zwei Drei, which honestly is an improvement over that segment.
Yeah. So if you didn't watch semifinal 2, like throughout the show, all 3 shows, they had these Professor Eurovision segments where they would ask a question about the contest. And just like, okay, number 1, you should be listening to our pod if you have these sort of questions, just saying. But number 2, the direction on these, it was just banana. Like the professor, like the way that she's being filmed, her eye line looks like she's looking out the window at like a bird that keeps trying to fly into it or something. Like it's not like matching any sort of eye line with the person that she is supposedly talking to. There are these robots that are animated, or like there was just like an uncanny valley thing going on.
Just kind of doing stuff in the background.
Yeah. It was just like, what? Why is there a pneumatic arm in the classroom and it's just stacking TVs? Like it was just very weird visually. The classroom setup was also just really weird. Like just this very steep angle of
It's like
seats.
steep lecture hall.
Yeah.
But like for me, and like I think you called this out with just sort of like the weird eye lines, is like it is so clearly Frankenstein of, okay, the people in the class and the professor were filmed at completely separate times. They are not reacting to one another in any way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And and then like there's this guy Hugo in the second semifinal who like asked a question that was basically like, why is Eurovision so gay? With that tone of voice. Yeah, and it's just like, I don't know. Like I think ultimately they came around to being neutral or gay positive or something, but
we just like the just sort of a meandering answer that is it just infuriating the entire time, and then just sort of tying it in a bow. We should replace all these letters with H for human.
Yeah. I think that's the thing. Like it was feeling very like all lives matter.
Yeah,
in a way.
It was like they're just honestly just stick checkmate liberals at the end of it. Just. Yeah, there's like an overcorrection almost on Eurovision's end of just constantly just answering, well, actually, I don't see color. And it's like, I just asked if you wanted mayonnaise on your sandwich.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just just like that was not the question. Thank you for letting me know. That's great, but also that's not what we're discussing. That was just sort of assumed. Anyways, so semifinal 2.
Yes.
For me, one of the big things in my notes with this one is I feel like everybody was making up for kind of mid songs with so much staging. I thought that Switzerland's song was fine and it didn't need like the whole little jungle gym on the stage.
I'm sad about Switzerland. I thought that was a great performance. The song's really good. And they finished 9th with the jury. They finished 9th with the televote, but their combined score was 14 points less than Cyprus. And they missed the cut. It was like, oh no. So
yeah, and like that was not a good vocal from Cyprus. I was actively concerned about what she would sound like yesterday.
Yeah, and like I think she gave a better performance in the grand final, but yeah, I mean, this is one of those things about Eurovision where it's just like it is a marathon, it is not a sprint. I don't think this is a knock on her singing ability. Like, I think if she were like completely fresh and like if you ask her to sing this 2 weeks from now, I think it'll sound great, or at least it'll sound closer to the studio version. But I think this may have just been. It was the end of a very long week, and she was also at a disadvantage being in the second semifinal because there's no vocal rest.
But let's see, like who else had kind of a lot going on staging wise?
Australia had all the things.
Just like the last 20 seconds of Australia is just somebody in the control room pressing every possible button. Mm-hmm. Just like raise her out of the piano and drop the spark curtain and... Here's some explosions, and here's this,
wind machine.
and this, and this.
Yeah.
Wind
effective
machine.
use of wind machine.
Yeah.
And just like props everywhere, like giant piano. You could see the steps to get to the top of the piano next to the piano. It's like, oof, yeah, the stage crew, they were working this year.
They were just everybody, like, just like, because like the first half of the song, none of the props would be there, and then here are all of the props, and now they're gone again. It's just like they got their money. Armenia. That was one where... I had not heard the song before this week, and I was looking at it lyrically after it did not go through, and was just like, I don't know how this song exists without this performance. It's like, it feels like it was very built around this, and that's not a good recipe for a song. And also, like, I didn't love this staging because I'm like, okay, you've built an elevator on stage. That means like everybody in the arena can't see it.
I was impressed with how they were able to get all of the elements moved around without really being detected. Like, I was surprised by the like wall of boxes that he crashes through towards the end of the performance. Be like, oh wow, how did they film that in a way where you don't see those boxes before it actually happens? And yeah, like that one, I respect the ideas that were happening there. I don't think it was a fully baked.
It felt like it was derived from, again, this is what the stage performance is going to look like, and it's going to be so cool, and his jacket's going to have sticky notes all over it because he's tired of being in the office.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was sort of the end of the thought.
Yeah. I don't know, that is kind of one of my favorite micro genres of music, is like songs about like the drudgery of the 9 to 5 from people who are just like, do you work
like, have
9
you
to 5?
actually temped in an office?
Yeah, like I think of like Janet Jackson's Escapade, where it's just like, when was the last time that you like did a coffee run for like the secretary pool? You know,
looking at what made it through, I think for the most part I agree with things. Again, I would have loved Switzerland over Cyprus. That is sort of that was like one of the places I got things wrong and trying to figure out what is going to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And Cyprus had a pretty sizable lead over Switzerland. They were 14 points ahead between 10th and 11th places. There is a big point drop to 12th place with second semifinal.
Yeah.
It's just like you then draw. It's like Luxembourg was 12th and they had 60 points. That is 48 points below what Switzerland got. That one was just doing all of the in-camera effects.
I don't know. I think also Luxembourg, like they had to kind of navigate the like plagiarism accusations early on. And I don't know how much of that like actually carries weight, but I think it impacts how the fandom is talking about it and just like the general word of mouth. But yeah, that was another one where it's like, this doesn't feel particularly modern. And it did kind of reach a point where it just seemed like she was more wandering around the stage than moving with intention.
Yeah, and I think that is always that happens for at least one entry every year where it's like, oh, you thought that you could just sort of figure it out in the room in terms of the movement. It's like, no, you need to have a little bit more of a plan.
Yeah. 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 So then after Luxembourg, there was Armenia and Latvia. I really liked Latvia's performance. I understand why it wouldn't necessarily click with audiences because it is like pretty like heavy ballad. But yeah, it was using the same staging from Supernova, which I thought was effective. But again, it's a lot of in-camera effects with the like cyclone of broken glass. I appreciate this as Latvia's entry, but understand why it didn't qualify.
It is, yeah, it's pretty, but just sort of, yeah, like the staging is pretty static. I am a little burnt out just because I think we saw it a few places in in national finals this year and just in general of just sort of singer with a silhouette that is their younger self. It's a trope that we have seen, particularly in the last couple of years. I'm just like, yeah, I'm not sure this is, it's just like, there's nothing fresh here.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was one element that I think changed a little bit from Supernova, where it was a little bit more apparent in Supernova that the shadow was an animation or like not quite like there was going to be a turn, and they kind of got rid of that. It's kind of less of a cool effect. It kind of takes away the element of shadow boxing in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then like the other effect that was also kind of prevalent in national finals was like the cyclone of something effect, which Malta got rid of, which I think was a good choice. It
was smart.
Like originally had it with the rose petals. But yeah, you kept describing it as like it looking like it was getting filmed inside a screened-in gazebo, which I agree with that assessment.
Yeah, like no, they like I understand that it's technically cool that these screens are so transparent that you don't really notice them, but when you're outside of the gazebo, that's all I can notice is that you like if you've ever tried to take a photo through a screened-in window, the camera picks up on the grid.
Yep. Yeah. There was a lot of zebraing going on with that one.
One more thing to call out with semifinal 2, placing dead last in the semi, and just overall Azerbaijan. 2 points from the jury, 0 points from the televote. Oof.
Yeah.
I had seen some level of we think this song was written by AI discourse happening about this one. Yeah, just because apparently the songwriter, their YouTube channel is just like, I wrote this song with AI for other stuff in there. There's nothing to really hang on that song. It's just like there's nothing to grab onto.
Yeah. I mean, like even as vocals go, it was kind of middle of the road, and just knowing that like previous Azerbaijan entries when it comes to vocals, it's like, no, I know you've got some belters out there. And like I didn't hate the song as much as like a lot of people did, but yeah, like there was nothing particularly special about it, and like especially in this semifinal, like this was a really stacked semifinal.
Yes, this was a stacked semifinal. You have to be better than 5 other songs, and I don't think Azerbaijan's song was better than 5 other songs in the semi.
No, and the rest of Europe agrees with you.
Yes. All right. So between the semis and the grand final, we had the Marcel Besançon Awards. So the media award is voted on by the accredited media and press during the event. That one went to Australia. The artistic award is presented to the best artist, as voted on by the commentators. So that went to Bulgaria, and that maybe feels like Bulgaria was getting like the audience, pre-poll that ESC Insight does, which is an exit poll, and that won the semifinal 2 exit polls. Just like the signs were there.
Yeah.
And then the composer award for the Besançon Awards this year is the participating composers, and that went to Denmark. And then we had the grand final. Is your stomach supposed to be in knots for the entirety of the jury sequence?
Yeah. It was kind of a grab bag. Like it really felt like it was a contest. Of the 25 participating countries in the grand final, 18 of them received a 12. Bulgaria and Poland, they each earned 4 12s, and that was the most that any country earned, which is a huge change from the last couple of years. Like the last 2 winners, the last 3 winners were all beloved by the jury. Yeah, the fact that it was just like spread out so much was like, that was kind of my thought going into the voting sequence was just like, oh man, all of the radio people that are on the juries, they're going to make this really weird, because the stuff that like has been talked about the most in the fandom, I don't necessarily think of as being radio friendly, and the stuff that was like super radio friendly, not really what the fandom's talking about. So yeah, the fact that like Bulgaria and Poland did extremely well, it's like, yeah, that kind of tracks in my mind.
Yeah, no, I wasn't surprised by what was sort of ending up near the top, but also like the level of spread was both delightful to see, and also, as somebody who has been paying attention to some of the scoring issues from the last few years, extremely stressful.
Yeah, like you're just kind of noticing like what the score gap is, and be like, okay, what sort of televote is needed here, and is the televote going to come through? Like what is going to happen, and just like trying to game it out. And the fact that there's only 35 countries, there's not a ton of points to go around, even though there's a lot of points to go around.
Yes. The two things that were useful for me during the stressful portion of the evening were, you had sort of posted from our Blue Sky to unclench your jaw every 3 to 4 songs. I was literally standing up from my couch and doing a big stretch.
Yep.
And that was
It's just
useful.
good advice in general. Like, it's just like, it's a 4-hour show.
I am still going to be reaching out to my massage guy to take care of some other knots.
Yeah.
But then also just like during the really long interval, just started making a spreadsheet.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm just like, you know what I should do with this nervous energy is I should make a spreadsheet so that I can have numbers ready to go when the televote starts. And that was useful.
Yeah, I don't know. That kind of feels like cheating, but at the same time, like just in terms of how engagement changed this year, like we weren't doing a Eurovision party this year.
Same. It's just like I was riding this out solo.
Yeah. Like I was watching with my husband. Had a giant bowl of sun chips. Got some Italian lemon ice flavored water. Like, it was
like I had a couple friends who were texting me because they were watching from where they were watching. Like my level of catering was 1 medium thin crust pepperoni pizza because the UK.
There we go.
And then like a box of Lankaro, just because Finland. And that end of list.
Yeah. Like the sun chips were because they were on sale. So
just levels of engagement unseen by the EuroWhat podcast.
Yeah.
No null point, which is nice from the jury. But like it was looking real dodgy for Lithuania, which I did not like. I liked their performance a lot. Lion Sika is neat, and I'm glad he got this global stage.
Absolutely. Yeah, he was like giving off such Grace Jones energy. I don't know if that was his intention, but I saw her in concert last summer, and it's like, oh, this would have fit in perfectly, except for the like really that effect of the collapsing costume. That was really well executed. I'm glad that they were able to get that to work.
Yeah. And then Sweden was sitting at 0 points for a while.
Yeah, like it was just like, oh, this is really surprising, and like I just could not imagine Sweden getting a nil point. Like I didn't hate their song. It just, as you said, it was by the numbers.
Yeah, no, like it is an interesting referendum on what Sweden has been doing the last few years, and I look forward to seeing how Melfest responds.
Yeah. At the end of the voting, though, Austria and UK were tied at the bottom with 1 point. But thank you to Luxembourg and Ukraine for those single points. Yeah, I was reading some posts like after the fact, and I think it was 12 points pointed out that this is the first time since 2006 that a country finished with 1 point. I guess, well, spoiler for what happened with the televote, but
also like I watched the UK performance. I did not think that like a boatload of points from the jury was coming their way.
No, like I think the song works in the sense that if this came out in like 1980 82 or 83, like right at the height of New Wave, it would have been like, yeah, it's like, oh, where was this era of Eurovision? In 2026, not so much.
No, it's just like, I like the idea of, yeah, let's get somebody who builds their own modular synth on that stage. Hell yeah. Full support, full cosign from me. Unfortunately, it is a British person who thinks that they are charming. It's just like, did not like him in the green room. I liked some of the ideas of the staging, but there were not enough of them there.
Like enough of them in terms of people or in terms of ideas, or
I liked the idea of the computer monitored dancers. It's just like, okay, yeah, let's lean into it. Let's lean into like his whole kind of like, again, kit bashing, big modular synth, lots of switches and buttons. Sure, let's do that. But yeah, just like it all didn't come together for me. It's trying a little too hard to be cheeky.
I didn't understand why there were so many tables. I know there was that, like, I think it's in the second verse where there's like creating the pathway with them, but it's just like, well, you could just do something else. Like I feel like the elements of like why you get him, like the creating your own instruments out of Furbies and stuff, I don't really think that came across. There was like the keyboard that was hidden underneath that one table, but it just kind of looked like a standard keyboard. Like it didn't have all of the like creative flair that his other projects had.
Yeah, it's just like, it feels like this is like the second year in a row where the UK has picked kind of it, like who has made like an interesting choice with the artist. Is like, I would, because like Remember Monday, for what, you know, for all that they ended up doing, was an interesting choice. It was a solid strategy. These are people who work on the West End. They have good voices. They can sing a song well. In this case, we have this guy. He builds interesting instruments out of stuff. We have then taken both of these artists and locked them in a room with Eurovision songwriters to write a quote-unquote Eurovision song, and that is where it has gone off the rails.
Yeah, because, and like, yeah, he builds his own instruments, but Eurovision doesn't really have live instrumentation. Some notable exceptions happening this year, but like, that's just kind of the thing.
But also, the UK is not going to petition for months to let him play his Furby organ live.
Yeah.
They just like, they don't have the range. But yeah, it's just like, that was like, okay, yeah, this one's not going to go anywhere with the jury. I don't think is going to get the televote, and we will come around to that later. But anyways, top three with the jury at the end of everything there. Bulgaria, which did feel like a surprise to me, but on the other hand, the big thing with the juries this year is that there are 2 additional members to every jury, and they are young people. So hey, look at that contemporary song, and then also you have all the radio people. The radio people love a contemporary song they can play all summer. You know, there's interesting stuff going on with this song, composition-wise. There's enough for like the people who are supposed to evaluate this as a piece of music to latch on to.
Yeah, and like just looking at it from a performance perspective, like that is an incredibly physical performance, and it was effortless for
physical.
The entire
She sounds
crew.
great.
Yeah.
Australia. Again, that one feels like Eurovision bait. Like, of course, that is the one that was good that was doing well with the juries. Like, that composition is maybe not the freshest compared to something like Bangaranga, but just like a lot of very solid Eurovision, sung very well.
Yeah. Were you familiar with Delta Goodrem before?
No,
she was announced. Okay.
No, and like I like there was never like a good moment for me to sometime in the middle of this Eurovision season to just like log on to the show's Blue Sky and just type in all lowercase, okay, I'll bite. What's a Delta Goodrem?
Yeah. Yeah, I have to wonder if maybe it's kind of like a Kylie thing where like she's just huge everywhere else and then just a complete mystery in the US. Like, I mean, Kylie's come around, but yeah, like it's just like everybody was just so excited about her. It's like, I don't know who this is.
It's just like, I don't know who that is. And at this point, I'm afraid to ask.
Yeah. It's just like, no, I totally did the reading last night, you know? Like,
and then placing third, Denmark, which like like the composition on that was good. Like I understood like why the juries really responded to it.
Yeah, and that was another one that was a really solid performance. I think that what hurt it was it's what opened up the grand final. Which like very strong opener. Like everybody loves a sex terrarium. But it's I think it was just like, okay, like there are 24 other songs that are happening after this one, including like one that is going to be super controversial, and then like Bangaranga, which is like occupying the same like aggressive pop space. So bad luck on the draw.
Mm-hmm. And then before we go over to the televote, I did love that we got like that like TRM, Moldova's TV network, released a press release this morning of just being like, "Hi, Romania, sorry the views of the jury. Like, we know what happened with the jury. Like, they don't represent management. Please don't be mad at us, please."
Yeah. Yeah, like that was kind of surprising. Just looking at it, it's like, oh wow, the jury only gave it 3 points. Like
just like directly making eye contact with Romania and just like heart hands.
Yeah. Their televote did give 12 points to Romania.
Yes.
And I guess we can get into the televote piece of it. Bulgaria did very well in the televote as well, earning 10 12s, including the rest of the world vote. And there was a lot of love happening in the televote as well. 13 out of the 25 competitors received a 12, so that's a pretty good spread. Bulgaria and Romania received points from every country. And Bulgaria's lowest score was 4 points from Ukraine. Otherwise, it was a lot of 12s, a lot of 10s, a lot of 8s.
It was lovely to see just like both how many nations got something, and then also just like Bulgaria topping the list instead of who I expected to top the list. But yeah. We'll leave it there. 3 nations got nil point from the televote. I did appreciate the desperation with which the hosts were sort of stressing, no, this doesn't mean that nobody voted for you.
Yeah. Like, and I think that is a good thing to remind people about, because you could be every country's 11th place. That is the same as being every country's 26th place or 25th place. I guess I'm a little surprised about Belgium. I thought they would have gotten like 1 or 2 points, because it did, like, well, I don't know. I guess they were saved by the jury in the semifinals, so maybe I shouldn't be so surprised about that. But Belgium turned out so much better than I was expecting it to. Like, when I heard the studio track for this, it was like, oh, this sounds modern, but I have no idea how they're going to stage this with a live vocal. And I think they turned it out.
And then we have the other 2 nil points. The UK, just like the headline honestly writes itself. Look, Mom, no points.
Yeah.
And then Germany. I feel like my proudest moment all week was like, "Wir haben Slow-mo zu Haus."
Yeah.
It was a song.
Yeah. I mean, props for not rhyming fire with desire. I'm surprised the EBU allowed that to happen, but it's yeah, like it was just such a. It really kind of felt like a throwback in terms of staging. Like, it felt like, oh, this is just so like Fuego era.
It really just highlighted for me, like, we have moved past the need for Fuego.
Yeah, which is almost 10 years ago at this point, which is distressing to think about. But
Yep.
My mortality aside, let's see. Lithuania, they got 12 points. They came from Latvia. That was all of their points. I was honestly bracing for Lithuania to get 0 points.
Yeah, same.
But I'm glad they got something, because like I was not expecting it to win. Frankly, I was surprised that it got through the semifinal. It's like, oh, is this going to click with audiences at all? I love this. Like, I just think it's just so well executed. I think Lion Sika is a treat. And he's tried so many times to get to Eurovision, and each performance in the Lithuanian process, completely different each time. And yeah, I'm glad this one finally clicked. It was wild that this year it was Lion Sika versus Lolita Zero at one point. And yeah, so hoping for Lolita Zero at some future event.
Yes,
but
it's just like, hopefully Lion Sika walked so that Lolita Zero can fly.
Yes. Ultimately, the top 3 were Bulgaria, Romania, and Israel. Romania.
Oh my gosh,
so
Romania was so good.
Yeah, like I'm kind of sad that it didn't quite resonate with the jury, but I'm also like super glad that, like, as returning countries, that 2 of the top 3 were countries that were returning this year, and Moldova was up.
Moldova was up there
as well. So, welcome back, you 3. Y'all figured stuff out. You're kind of making the case for relegation, or like encouraging other countries to maybe take a step back. Yeah, take some time, see what's going on. What did you think about the new reveal method for the winner? they did the normal revealing of the televote scores where they start at the bottom of the scoreboard and work their way up. And then when it gets to the final two, it's pretty much whoever won the jury versus whoever is currently at the top of the scoreboard. And rather than having it be like the host announcing what the final point total was for the last contestant, they had this kind of like pointless graph.
I was about to say, like, reverse pointless
the show. Yes. Pointless the show, not pointless as in meaningless. But yeah, they just had this like rising graphic to see like if they pass like the watermark for victory. What did you think of that?
I mean, I thought it was a neat way to reveal the numbers. I mean, from my end, it was kind of pointless because I had a spreadsheet and I knew that mathematically it was not going to be Israel. It was just a matter of like how many points the second to last person got before we got to Bulgaria. But just like the numbers were aligned, so it was just a matter of, okay, now the world gets to know.
I liked it because they did get rid of the way that they did the reveals for the semifinals last year, where they had like three countries at
like
once.
Split screen.
Yeah, which like I'm kind of bummed. I thought it actually worked last year, but now that it's no longer just televote, I can kind of understand why it's like, that kind of is a chunky method when there's already like half points and half points. So yeah, like if they ever go back to just televote, or I don't know, just jury, they could maybe go back to that method. But yeah, I like that it wasn't just like announcing what the point total was and then forcing the audience to do like very quick arithmetic if they can hear. So
yes, like that was like a nice like, again, like the visual going along with the standard announcement was very nice. Let's do some early data chat. This is less data and more fun fact. The same creative director was responsible for both the winning performance and the last place performance.
Oh, wow. All right.
Like, Frederick Benka Riedman was involved in the staging for both Bulgaria and the UK.
Oh, wow. Huh.
So it is not just about who you get to stage your thing.
Right. At the same time, that's going to make it very difficult to generate quotes for next year's contest when people are looking for stage designers. It's like, well, I guess it can average out to this amount, but maybe stress the Bulgaria angle.
Yeah. Like, this is introduced a couple different tiers in his pricing structure. Like, okay, do you have a UK budget or do you have a Bulgaria budget?
Yeah.
And surprisingly, the UK budget may have been more expensive.
Yeah, well, yes.
Who knows?
Maybe able to calibrate. Where it's like, do you want to win Eurovision this year? Because I've got pricing plans for both. So if you just want to like make an appearance and be like hi bye, like here's what we can do. So
yes, this is the first time since 2017 that the winning entry has topped both the jury and the televote.
Woo! Yes, and it's the first televote winner to actually win the contest in quite a while too. So yeah, I believe Ukraine was the last one.
Another thing that occurs to me about Bangaranga is that I have been saying for years that we want a party song, so it shouldn't surprise me that a party song finally broke through.
Yeah, like this one. Like, just in terms of, like, the pop presence of it, I think you have to go as far back as Toy for something that is of, like, that beats per minute, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, you have the code, but the code is different.
Yeah, like, you're not necessarily dancing to the code. Or yeah, that one's more of a headbanger. Anyway.
Yeah, you are dancing. Yeah, you're dancing to Bangaranga.
Yeah.
There was a 173-point lead between first and second, which is the largest ever. I was surprised to find out.
It was also interesting that they mentioned that during the show where like in the Professor Eurovision segment. Like they were talking about like, how do you measure success at Eurovision? It's like, oh God. But one of the things that they mentioned was that Fairy Tale finished 169 points ahead of Is It True in 2009, which was the previous holder of that record.
That was just like another Professor Eurovision segment that ended on, well, who's to say? It's like, what's the point of any of this?
Yeah. It's like, oh God. Like, it's been a while since I've been in the college classroom, and I know that higher education has been under consistent attack, but if this is how education's going right now, I'm not optimistic. So
this is the lowest finish for Sweden since 2021, and there are only 2 Swedish entries that have finished lower. That would be 2009's Le Voix and 1992's entry from Christer Bjorkman.
Huh.
So here we sit. Bulgaria is the winner.
Yes. which I don't know. Were you expecting it at all?
No. The limited way I was coming to this is like I hadn't really heard Bulgaria's song until like I saw like the 30-second clip of it, and I was just sort of like, well, this isn't quite working for me, but people seem to be excited about it.
Yeah.
Unless like checking in on things like the Eurovision World odds, it's nowhere near the top of the odds. It's towards the bottom. Nobody saw this. No bookie saw this coming.
Again, another like don't listen to the bookkeepers piece of it.
I mean, the bookkeepers seem to be very good at who is going to qualify, but very bad at who is going to win. And I think that is just sort of the eternal nature of Eurovision. It's like it feels easy to figure out who's going to qualify. It feels very difficult to figure out exactly who's going to give their points to whom.
Right. Yeah. And like also until you know who is in the final, like you could be putting all of your money on somebody who ultimately doesn't qualify. Like anybody who was betting on Switzerland taking it all, like they yeah, they missed out. Looking ahead to next year, Bulgaria's BNT has already committed to hosting, and there's already like 3 cities that have indicated interest. But if you're kind of looking at the base criteria that Eurovision has for hosting of like proximity to airports, a suitable venue, all that good stuff, there's really only 2 viable options probably. So the capital Sofia and the coastal town Burgas, which both have indicated that they want to host. So yeah, that'll be exciting and interesting, and like I've already like checking out like how does one get to Bulgaria from Chicago, and personally rooting for Sofia over Burgas just in terms of travel time.
Just like I did one preliminary search of okay, so does Bulgaria have an arena indoors with the requisite sort of ceilings and general audience capacity we have come to expect, and like it feels like Sofia.
Yeah like but I appreciate that there is going to be a bidding process because that's going to force us to learn a little bit more about Bulgaria. I think that's the other thing where it's just like we did our Bulgaria episode earlier this year, and I think we both kind of approached it with just like, oh yeah, here's Bulgaria. They'll be at Eurovision. We're not expecting them to host next year, so we've already kind of we'll need to figure out what to do with our Welcome to Bulgaria segment because we already kind of did it. So, yeah.
Oh, I mean, we mostly focused on the corruption. I'm sure there's other things to cover.
Oh yeah. Like the restaurant scene or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah, no, I very quickly, after Eurovision wrapped up, was like, well, Bulgaria has won and the EBU has learned nothing. I'm still there. During the show, VRT, Belgium, like the other network that Belgium's switches having artist selection power to next year, has released a statement that they are asking for a clear framework for participation and open debate and a direct vote among EBU members. So far, we have received an insufficient response to this. Even during the semifinals this week, we received no signal that the EBU is hearing our concerns. So it's unlikely they're going to participate if there's no movement on this.
I had a feeling there was going to be problems because they announced very early on that they weren't sending a commentary team to Vienna. Like they handled all of their coverage remotely. They were airing documentaries before each of the broadcasts, just kind of contextualizing what is happening with the contest, with Israel, with Gaza, and they've been very vocal about this. Netherlands, they also are waiting to make a decision with regards to how the EBU has or has not learned anything this year. They're waiting until the EBU like issues some sort of status report or provide some sort of update before they even make any sort of contest decision.
Yep. Spain posted a message right as the contest started, just sort of reiterating their position. Slovenia has been airing documentaries about Palestine all week instead of Eurovision. It feels like the 5 who boycotted are probably going to stay boycotting unless something changes, and they could get a couple additional members.
There was also a New York Times investigation of what happened in 2025 that dropped at the beginning of Eurovision week. So, like, the news agencies are paying attention to what is happening.
The New York Times piece is really good, particularly calling out what the Spanish vote looked like last year. That, like seeing that drop immediately, knowing that we had our Spain episode in the hopper, I'm like, this would have been great information a few days ago.
Yeah.
But just like the combo of that, and then ESC Insight had a really good piece about the 10 vote limit. And they kicked the tires on how exploitable it is, and it turns out it's very exploitable.
Again, it's limited by payment method, not by device, and it's very easy to generate email addresses. So
yeah, it's just like I feel like the EBU has like a very busy summer ahead from some of its member nations. I hope that there's some continued dialogue about this.
Yes,
because I think that this is certainly not closed.
Yeah, and there's also going to be other budget issues as well. I mean, like that things are getting even more expensive, and like Luxembourg, they need to chat with the government about funding for continued participation. Like the current deal that they have was for 3 years, so 2024, 25, and this year. Continued participation isn't necessarily tied to results, which is good because they did not qualify this year, but they did qualify in 24 and 25. So, but yeah, there's just a lot of conversations that are going to be happening, and yeah, it's going to be like, is 35 going to be a high watermark for a while?
Yeah, like that's my question. Is just like, I feel like if there was a couple more nations that join the 5 from this year, you're going to have another vote. A lot of callback this season has been to how quickly the EBU ruled on Russia when they attacked Ukraine. Mm-hmm. And that was 10 nations coming together and said, we will boycott unless this happens.
Yeah.
And we are halfway to that number. Frankly, they should not have to get to that full 10 for this to come up again. I think they need to have a vote.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be like we're still waiting on like ratings data and other engagement data. Like there's a lot of information that we just don't have yet as we're recording this the day after. And yeah.
The little snippets that we're getting, though, are kind of telling, because like UK was down. Like apparently it is the lowest viewership since 2010.
Oof. Yeah. There's been big drop-offs for a number of countries, particularly the ones that didn't qualify or did not participate. But yeah, like I think viewership overall, like it'll be interesting to see how the YouTube of it all like factors in. So yeah, it'll be a very busy summer for the EBU. We will be keeping tabs on that, but also kind of in the background a little bit.
Yeah, but also we deserve a break.
Yes. So we launched this show back in January of 2018, and we haven't really done any sort of extended break since then. And yeah, there's just like a lot of housekeeping stuff that we need to take care of, and yeah, just like we need time.
Yeah, just like, what if we took some time to work on all of those projects that we keep adding to the Trello board or adding here and there, and actually did some stuff on them?
Yes. So we are not closing up shop, but we are using the summer to take care of this behind the scenes stuff. I don't know, get our Google Plus page set up and our MySpace all good to go. Those are still around, right?
I look forward to finding out what Zoop is.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, it's a like engagement platform for creators. It's just like I've not heard one person talking about it, referencing it, saying, "Oh, check out our page on there." Like I did just the most cursory thing. Like, is this something that we really need to pay attention to? And as far as I can tell, it's just like an NFT blockchain. Who'sy what's its?
Ew. So, yeah. No, thank you.
Yes, so that is not part of our summer plan. What is part?
I will be sticking with my engagement platform of choice, Sandwich.
There we go. But yeah, so what our plan is for the summer is we will still have episodes dropping more or less every other week on the main feed, but these will be unlocking a sample of our Patreon episodes from the last few years. If you are a member of our Patreon, either at the free level or the paid supporter level, first of all, thank you. We love it. We love to see it. We will continue to have our monthly newsletter to kind of keep tabs on what is happening over the summer as Bulgaria gets ready to host. And the bonus episodes for the paid supporters will continue happening. Our next one will be dropping next week, which it will be about the 1994 Eurovision Song Contest, since rather than watching it in bits and pieces like we did all of this season, we're watching the whole dang thing. And
what if we macrodosed the 1994 contest?
Yeah. And yeah, for that one, we'll be joined by former guest Ted Van Houten to just kind of chat about Ireland in the mid-90s. We'll also begin our coverage for Eurovision Asia, where, assuming that is full speed ahead, they were really pushing it.
They had the video
during the
package.
show.
I think they're doing it.
Yeah, and a couple of the selections have dates for when they're happening. So the earliest one will be happening in August. So looking forward to that ? But yes, season 10 of the show will begin in earnest on Tuesday, September 1st. And hopefully we will have at least some of our projects done on the back end. And looking forward to seeing how the next decade of this show gets going. Yikes.
Yeah. Number that ends with a 0 I was not expecting. Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah. But I think it's also kind of cool. Like, our very first season, Portugal was hosting. It was the first time that they were hosting the contest. And now we have another country where it'll be the first time that they're hosting. So
it's like a brave new world.
Yes. Lovely full circle moment.
That's going to do it for this episode of the EuroWhat. Thanks for listening. The EuroWhat podcast is hosted by Ben Smith, that's me, and Mike McComb.
That's me. You can find our full 9-season archive of episodes on our website at EuroWhat.com. We also have dozens of bonus episodes on our Patreon, which you can access for just $5 a month by going through our website or visiting patreon.com/EuroWhat.
Next time on the EuroWhat, we'll be unlocking our episode about Susan Sontag's seminal essay, Notes on Camp.